My present stage is young adult. I am in my third year of career. I'm studying global business management. This stage is where you start to make big decisions. When you're a teenager, you still do not decide everything by your own. But now it's different, because nobody can tell me what to do. For me, one of the biggest decisions I have made is to decide my career. When I was a teenager, I was sure that I was going to become a chef. But then I started to think in my future. Am I going to spend my days in a hot kitchen? And the answer was no. So now I was not sure about it. My mother told me to imagine myself in the future as an adult, and that helped me a lot. Studying business was until now my biggest event. During these past 3 years I have learned a lot and get more interested in my career. Now, when I imagine myself in the future, I see a businessman working on an office and traveling around the world. So I can say I know I made a good decision. So I'm always thinking in my future and what to do with my strategic plan. Well, as I already mentioned, I want to work in a big company because I believe I can learn a lot. And then use all that knowledge to make my own company. One of my biggest goals is to have my own consulting agency. I want companies to come to ask me for advice. I think this can be possible during my middle age stage, because it's when you already work a lot and you are a wizard person. You have acquired a lot of different knowledge through the years, and now you can apply it to your own business. Activity domains are all the things that I do in my daily life, all the activities I do during these past few years. The most important activity domain in this stage is my school. For me, this is a very important activity, because I know this is a long-term process. My family is also a very important part of my life. I have an older sister named Stefania, and we were not really close as kids, but now that the relationship is different. And with my mother and father I have different relationships, but they are different in a good way, because there are things I share with my mother and not with my father, and vice versa. The forces and factors of my life are the activities I do in my daily life: my finances, my health, the housing, the desired transportation, and the goal plans and values. In these forces there might be different scenarios. Some of them are good, and the others are other possibilities that are not as good as I would like them to be. For example, the forces and factors of my activities, if I continue with the present, is that I want to finish my university studies, and I want to continue with my internship at DuPont. And the worst scenario is that I won't be able to graduate and I will need to have a part job in a store. The vision of my life in about 10 years is that I want to get married at the age of 32. To get married, I want to have 2 boys. I would love to have twins. I will be working in a big Asian company, making bonds between Mexico and China. Because of this job, I will need to travel back and forward to Asia during the year, but those will only be business travels. Twice a year I want to have my personal vacations to travel around the world, but I don't want to work for a company for the rest of my life. I always think that having your own business is better, but it's not easy to start your own business if you don't have the knowledge to run it. So after gaining all the experience I need, I will start my own consulting company here in Mexico. About my education, I know that it's important to continue my education. As already mentioned, I will work in a company that has something to do with Asia. So I think it would be great to do my MBA in China or in the US, because I think those are countries that already understand business, and about the health, I want to be healthy and as an adult. So I will quit smoking, and I will try to stop drinking, but I don't know, because in some business meetings that will involve alcohol, I will lose potential clients. But to get to this desired future, I need to have some strategies. Also with my domains. For example, the strategies to get to that future in my finances is that I need to have a good job. So I maintain the good job and try to get promoted in that job. And if it's not possible to get promoted, I will look for a better job. I won't use a lot of credit cards because I don't want to have a big debt to the banks. Also, there are strategies to avoid or reduce the impacts of probable events. For example, in the finances, I always think twice before I make any buy. I will save money for the hard times, maybe if I get fired or I have an accident, and also save money for my future business. Now, I already examine all the possibilities in my life. Now I know that I can't plan a future without taking in account all the driven forces in my life. Before I didn't know that there was a lot of to think. Now I know that maybe I will have a good future, but also maybe I won't have a better future. But I need to fight and I need to have a big plan and all the strategies to accomplish that plan.